everyone, and welcome to the review of the PVY Z20 PRO. And this is a very interesting e-bike, as you have seen in the unboxing. This is a value-added bike that comes with a lot of accessories and tries to give you a better deal, but will it also... So I'm going to start with the most interesting thing, and I'm going to tell you that this bike is sold in both European and international version, and you don't have to order one of them because this bike is delivered, for instance, in Europe in European version, but this bike can be set up in international version. So regardless of what you buy, you end up with both variants, and you can choose from that display the variant that you want to have. So the bike in European mode is limited to 25 kilometers per hour, and this throttle here will work just as walk assist, and is limited to something like 5 kilometers per hour. And that's it. You get assisted mode, you get 3 assistant levels, but if you switch it to international, then you get up to 32 kilometers per hour top speed, and you unlock the throttle, and the throttle will take you to those 32 kilometers per hour. The chain drive system is comprised of a 6-gear Shimano system that comes with a quick shifter here that has a lever and a plus to quickly change the gears. And the range of the gears is somehow matched with the running speed of the bike, so you get good ratio for low speeds. You can go uphill with it, but you can also do 25 and almost 30 kilometers per hour just by pedaling. So they kind of chosen the gears right for it, but we are going to test that anyway. The bike offers very good comfort, as besides having a front shock absorber, it also permits the adjusting of the handlebar height, the seat post. And talking about the seat post, I'm going to show you some interesting stuff. So this is probably one of the longest seat post stems that I have seen until now. So it permits to ride comfortable even for very tall people. You can see the minimum insert level is down there, so plenty of that. And something very interesting, look at the thickness of the material that the frame is built from. So it has here not only a thick frame, but it also has an extra metal insert which gives this area here a lot more strength, so it should support a lot more weight and should provide better frame integrity. And talking about the frame, the build quality is very interesting because this bike doesn't use, although it looks like a normal design that you see on a lot of bikes, it has some improvements. For instance, these arms here, the rear fork, they are actually reinforced here in a triangle and reinforced between them here. This acts as also a mudguard holder, but this also provides a lot more strength in this area. So this part here is very strong. Also you get this triangle here, so all this part here is built very tough. And you also have this, which functions not only as a reinforcement for the frame here, because it forms another triangle, but this also is good as a handle to carry the bike more easy. And because we are talking about the frame and the design of it, here's another interesting thing. So here where the frame folds, the front part and the rear part have some indents. Hopefully you are going to see that on the camera. So they match between them, and when they match together, this creates a more resistant area here. So there's less flex in that joint, making it stronger. Design-wise, there are also some interesting improvements. So the rear of the frame here underneath, it has a extra profile that kind of hides some of the wires inside, because there is a small space in the frame, and there you have these plastic clips that clip over the wires, so you no longer get those eyelets like you get here and then zip ties, so you have a lot of cables that are zip tied to the frame. You get these plastic caps. It would have been a lot more interesting if they have managed to actually fit this type of plastic from the top to the bottom part, so to completely hide them. It would have been very nice, but nonetheless, this is kind of better than using a lot of zip ties. Other interesting things worth mentioning are the full metal mudguards. They are metal, not plastic, not painted plastic, and they seem pretty solid. Even the bracket that holds them in place seems to be very thick, and it's fixed there pretty nice. So probably this will be there for a long period of time. So they are kind of resistant. Also, they are really nice painted, and also the frame is really nice painted. It's not the matte paint that scratches easy and dust sits on it. It's a very glossy, thick paint. It's actually a very nice paint job, and the bike looks very good in this color. And we also get here another novelty. We get this cap here. So underneath we have hidden a charge port, a battery master on-off switch, and a USB port. And you can actually charge something from the bike battery directly from this. You don't have the USB port on the display that you get on some bikes, but nonetheless you can charge it from here, which is still interesting because you can put a bag on the frame and charge your phone on the go or something like that, and you are just going to use a short cable from here to the bag. The bike is of course foldable, and the pedals are foldable, and the handlebar is foldable. It all folds in a very compact bike. I'm also going to say that the folding mechanism of the handlebar is very strong, okay, and as simple as that. It gets very compact, and you can also take the battery out when you need it to. So you have a key lock, which is also very good, so when you park the battery somewhere, it's not going to be stolen. And there's the battery. And if you are interested about the capacity, it's a 36 volt 0.4 amp hour battery. So this should provide a decent mileage depending on your riding needs and how you ride a bike. Also, here's the USB port in more detail, and the charge port and the master on off switch. Also, the battery seems to be equipped with a fuse, which is very good for safety if there indeed is a fuse installed there, because you don't see that on a lot of batteries. Also, there are some other improvements here. For instance, you get this rubber and this rubber band here, so they both have their own purpose. So they seal it from water, so not a lot of water will go here. In this part you get the controller. Also, you don't have wires between the battery here. There are those connectors that you get on other bikes. They are not exposed here, so water is not going to damage them. Very smart. They actually route the power through the frame, through the front part, and it goes through a wire into the back here to the controller. Very smart. And they use this rubber insulator here to push on the battery. The battery makes very good contact, and it doesn't rattle into the frame. Very simple, yet very smart. And I don't know why other bike manufacturers don't do this, and they all copy the same design, where this is also here the contact of the battery with the bike, so they kind of overcomplicate things and makes this a weak point. This is not happening here. A very smart idea. Also, unfolding is very fast and straightforward. There's nothing complicated here, just like that. Frame is installed, then you have this locking here so it doesn't somehow accidentally unfold. Then the handlebar, and that's it. And the pedals, of course. Safety-wise, the bike comes with rather standard packaging. You get side rear reflectors, you get pedal reflectors, you get a LED headlamp that is battery operated. It's not driven by battery power of the bike. And on the rear, you don't get a red LED, you just get this reflector. So that's kind of a small minus. I would have expected at least one LED stop lamp here, while the stopping power comes from dual brake system, 160mm disc, plenty of stopping power. It uses regular cable pull brakes with single acting brake pad that pushes onto the disc, and the disc pushes onto the other available pad, counter pad on the other side. Another thing that I like, maybe insignificant for some of you, is this clasp here, and this permits you to take the handlebar out if you need to, if you want to make the bike even more compact and you are storing it for a longer period of time. But it also permits quickly adjusting the angle of the handlebar, so you can quickly rotate the brake levers, the shifter, everything, so you don't need to actually unscrew all of them, loosen them up and move them. You can quickly rotate the whole handlebar, and the handlebar has a slight curvature, so you can also adjust that to have better comfort on the bike. Alright, so it's actually time to ride it to see how this works. Also, I'm going to say that I weigh about 87 kilograms and I have a heavy backpack that weighs around 5 kilograms today. So you can take that into consideration when I tell you about the dynamics of this bike and how good it accelerates and rides. Okay, kickstand is up. I'm going to peel this off. Right, looks much better now. Going to power on the display. It starts with 0 here. That's assisted 0. And I can pedal and start just like a regular e-bike without putting any kind of effort. You just feel slightly added weight of the battery, but this bike rides very nice even if you are not pedaling and not using power, because it uses a geared motor, a gear hub motor that has planetary gears inside, and it has a one-way clutch. So it means that when you are not using any kind of electrical power, or you are just gliding and not pedaling, coasting, the motor physically disconnects from the shaft. It doesn't put any kind of drag onto the bike, and it simply goes and goes and goes and goes, and that makes it very efficient and makes it use less power because it's not constantly braking you, so it doesn't need constant power just to keep up speed. Right, so as you've seen, I'm actually on 4th gear and I had no problem starting from standstill just by pedaling. So I'm going to go on gear 1. Gear 1 is very good for going uphill and getting acceleration. Brakes are working fine. And now let's test the assisted gears, and before that I'm going to tell you about the display and the settings. So the bike, as I've told you, has 2 working modes, international and European, and it's not like the other bikes that you see that you need to change a lot of parameters and do secret stuff and push on levers and change settings here. You just have one single setting to change, and by doing that the bike changes all the corresponding settings, such as enabling the throttle, de-restricting the speed, enabling more power, and so on. So right now, and the whole test, the review, is going to be with the bike unlocked to full 32 kilometers per hour, because I want to see the full performance of the bike. Right, so I'm now in assisted gear 1, I'm on gear 1, and I start to pedal. There's just a slight delay, like all other bikes, and I'm already doing 50 kilometers per hour, and I need to change a few gears to keep up with the bike so I don't ghost pedal. I'm actually already on 5th gear, so the gears are pretty low, which makes the bikes very good for going uphill and starting. So very good actually for city usage, where you do a lot of starts and stops, and maybe you go also uphill, and this makes it easy to ride. Right, and the suspension, the front suspension works fine. It actually absorbed that curb. The curb has, on the camera you cannot assess that, the curb has about 10 centimeters. So those 10 centimeters haven't felt much on the front. On the rear, there's no suspension, you are going to feel that. But the seat post, until now, the seat actually feels, the saddle feels rather good. So it absorbs some of the shocks. Right, and now I'm going to go in second mode, and the bike is picking up. And I'm already ghost pedaling, so I'm on 6th gear, and I'm doing 25 kilometers per hour. And I do that very pleasant, so I don't pedal too fast. It's just like a relaxing ride. So right now I'm at the top speed of European version, 25, and of course now I have this 3rd gear, and the bike really picks up and jumps right away to 32 kilometers per hour. And now I'm a bit too fast at pedaling. It's not hard, but it's fast, so I would have loved an extra gear for 32 kilometers per hour. But the idea is that for 32 kilometers per hour I can always use the throttle, and I'm going to be lazy, and the bike cruises nicely at 32 kilometers per hour. So when you want to go fast, you can also rest. If you want to go up to 25 kilometers per hour, legally in Europe, you can use the pedals without any kind of problem. So I can switch back to mode 2 here, and now I can pedal 25. Easy, nice, pleasant, relaxing. So that's very good. So I was talking about the curb. Here's a smaller curb. This one has about 6 centimeters, and the front shock absorber does the job really nice. It doesn't bottom out until now. And I like one more thing: there's no abnormal noise on the bike. Mudguards don't make any kind of noise, even though they are metal. The battery doesn't rattle. As I've shown you, they have those rubber inserts, but it doesn't rattle because probably all my bikes, folding bikes with batteries, I had to put some pad on it. Almost all of them. There were some that the factory used some pads on them. Well, I haven't did anything to this, and it doesn't rattle. So for me, missing the battery rattle is a big plus. Also, no noise from the mudguards. Again, it's a big up from me. So it rides really nice, actually. It's pleasant, and the unlocked mode is really nice. The controller is soft program, so the acceleration is not instant, it's not very powerful. It's kind of linear, and that's done this way because in long term, this saves battery power. So it prevents you from accelerating too fast, which drains the battery very fast. This being with a bit of reduced acceleration highly improves the range of your bike without actually doing anything else. And if you want to actually accelerate faster, you always have the pedals and you can use them. Another interesting thing is the front shock absorber, which looks similar to all other shock absorbers, but this one is rather quiet. There are some shock absorbers that when they compress and when they decompress, they have no stopper, nothing, and they have a clonk sound. And this one actually doesn't feel to have that clonking sound, because if I do something like this, it does have some kind of noise when it decompresses, but doesn't have that annoying metal on metal clonking noise. You just get some more rattle from the mudguard than you get noise from the suspension, which is interesting because this is a standard shock absorber and doesn't have any kind of adjustment, and works pretty good for my 87 kilograms with extra weight on my back, so feels pretty pleasant. And now I'm also doing a bit of off-road. The bike is not intended for off-roading, but you see that noise, but it's not that annoying like you get it on other bikes. So even on off-road, the bike is rather quiet. You can hear more noise from the gravel that is thrown at the mudguards. And I've taken this route because here I have a ramp. It's short, but it's very steep, and I'm going to try to go up, and I'm on assisted gear too. I'm on 6th gear here, and the assisted has kicked in, and look at that. I'm not putting much effort into going up this ramp, and I didn't even change the gears. So that should address the idea of the torque that this bike provides, and it has plenty of torque to take you uphill, which is actually really nice. And now some more testing, some proper testing. Oh, let's see how this rides also in a forest and a bit of off-road. Actually, it rides better than expected. This is after all, it's a city bike, it's not a cross-country dirt bike or other things like that. Still, it handles like a champ, and you can even get some decent speed with it. Also, I'm impressed about the tires because they have very good grip. They have a very interesting pattern, and also the brakes, although a bit noisy, they react pretty good, and the 160mm disc do the job of stopping the bike pretty good. I haven't chosen the perfect path to ride on. Actually, it's not good at all. But look at this. No fancy jumps with this one, but I do like the feeling of speeding throughout the forest with it. And the front suspension, again, does an excellent job on keeping good steering on uneven terrain. I think I'm enjoying this a bit too much, and I'm already full of scratches. So now you have seen how this bike performs, how it rides, and it's time for some final conclusions about it. For instance, the ride quality is great. As you've seen, it has very good acceleration, very good power. I like the way that it unlocks without doing much of magic with it. I'm going to do a separate video on that, how to switch the working modes. It's not very complicated. I like it overall. I like the mudguards, it's silent, I like the suspension, works nice. The seat is decent, it has enough padding, it's not going to break your butt. I like the fact that you can fully adjust this on the height and the seat post, and even very tall people can ride on this very comfortable. Overall, it's a very nice bike. I like even this rack, it's like the classic ones, and it came ISO rated with maximum 25 kilograms, so very nice, and the frame is very well built. The paint quality, it's great, so I really like this. But as you know, there is no perfect product, so each time I do need to find some cons, even if they are very small ones, but I did find some. For instance, I would have loved to have here at least an LED tail lamp, so not just a reflector, for my safety. Second on the list are these grips. The grips are made, if you look, from a very soft silicone type rubber. They are very grippy, but if you ride them, if you grip it hard, if you go on a bumpy road, look at my palm, so if I squeeze on them, they are going to imprint all over, and it kind of makes you a bit unpleasant if you do a longer ride, as your palms are going to look like you have been on a grill. Apart from that, I cannot find any more real cons. Everything works just fine, as it should. So it's a bike that performs normal as a bike should, and as you've seen, it comes equipped with almost everything, so you can just ride it on. Also, for your convenience, I like the fact that the rear motor has a motor plug, so if you have a flat tire or problems with it, you can quickly take it out and disconnect this, and you can change the tire or do the flat tire right away without messing with wires that needs pulling from the controller. So that was it for now. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Be sure to follow my next uploads, where I'm going to show you the unlocking and more riding footage. And until then, see you and bye bye.